Hey, my name is Luma DeMille. I'm making a video today to talk about how the name you are born with influences your personality. Well, excuse me, the name you are born with influences who you are. Should I say, or should I say, heavily influences who you are? Or I maybe might say, determines who you are. I'd say heavily influences who you are. I'd go back to that. Okay, where to begin? Okay, let's begin with. What, let's begin with. Okay, let's begin with how even on the sub, this is something people do all the time. Have you ever met someone or have tried to guess somebody's name or something like that, and you'll be like, you don't look like a Chad, or you don't look like a Jessica, or whatever. There's certain people out here, or I'm sure you've had situations in your life where you'd say a person doesn't look like their name, like he doesn't look like a Joe, or let's say someone tells you their name and you think, well, I didn't really take you for that type of name. Yeah, this is just a very like everyday experience that I'd say that tells you that names have a vibration, a certain type of energy to them, to where you'd say you don't look like that. Like I felt like you were something else, or if you didn't feel it, you're not a sensitive person. You would just be like, you didn't look like that type of person to me. I think most people have had this experience. Uh, yeah, with names. That's one example that I think everybody can relate to, proving that there's something to the name. Next is going to the scientific type area of whatever analysis. I don't know if it's been proven, but this is what I've read. This is what I've been seeing. Like, yeah. It goes like everything in the universe is energy, a vibration. Everything is just vibrating on different at different speeds and things like that. And I'm sure you can look into the science of this. I may even post some sciencey images or whatever in this video. Maybe not. But everything is energy, vibration. You can look this stuff up. They I've heard that if you were to have a powerful enough microscope, you could actually and look into like a desk or look into like a solid block of anything. If you look close enough into it, eventually, when you get to its core, everything is made of mostly empty space. It's just electrons and things just bouncing around, bouncing off of each other. Everything is energy, vibration, including the words we speak. Yeah, yeah. Hence why someone could call you a word that you don't like, a derogatory word, a curse word, and you get angry because even the word makes you feel a certain way. Or even if it's not the word, you can feel the intent behind the word. Someone could say something nice and you could get, but you could feel like it was an undermining in a way, like they didn't mean it how they said it. We feel things like that. That's another great example I've came up with. Um, what's another one? What's another one? Yeah, that's a great example. So yeah, that's one thing. And the next thing is if everything is energy, is vibration, including the words we speak, which you can also look all this stuff up, by the way. Well, I'm not just making this stuff up. Wouldn't it make sense that the names we say have a vibration? Everything is vibration, especially the words we say, because we feel people's words more than anything else. We take words very seriously. Like communication is big, and word sound is literally vibration. Like when you hear a sound, it vibrates your I don't know the anatomy of the ear. It vibrates. It's vibrations going into the ear. Yeah, sound is literally vibration. That's something you can easily understand. Everything is vibration, but particularly sound is something that's been proven. This words, sounds of vibration. So it makes sense that the words your name has a vibration. And there's been an experiment. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it. It's an experiment where if you like This guy, he played music and sounds, and he's like, for example, he had water, and he'd say certain words to a certain glass of water and certain words to another glass of water. Then he'd freeze it and look at it through a microscope and see the water up close and whatever, and the words, the water or whatever, who received the nice words and had happy uplifting music, had complex crystalline structures, and you know it was more complex or whatever. And the water who was imbued with curse words and bad energy and bad music had in fact uh it was more dirty, and things like it was more dirty and um not as complex, misshapen, things like that. I think his name was Yamamoto or something like that. Motorola. Yeah. So yeah, that's what that is. Um yeah. So now let's go into how your name. It makes sense that your name has a certain vibration. Um yeah, I've already established the words have vibration. Everything's vibration, including the words you say. So I guess I should go into how I know this is true. I know this is true on a personal level, not just by me studying names. Because I've studied people's names. Oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about the particular thing I use. There's a particular method I use. It's called the Caballerian philosophy, where they take the letters of your name and assign them to numbers, and It's basically connected to numerology. Blah 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 blah. Let me get into it. I know this is true because of me, for example. Like I have a very sensitive, introverted name. And before I even knew of this Kabbalarian philosophy and numerology and things like that, I felt it. As a child growing up, I knew that I was more sensitive than the people around me. In fact, I'm the most sensitive person I've ever been. Most sensitive. I'm not as sensitive now, but I was the most sensitive person I've ever met. Even as a child, I knew it. I felt it. So, sensitive beyond, I don't even know how to explain it. Like sensitive, beyond any, your imagination. Like, yeah. And growing, I always wondered why I was different. Why, why I took things harder than everyone else around me and things like that. And how I always felt misunderstood. I always realized that I was much weaker and much easily influenced than the people around me. I knew this as a child. And growing up, I always felt this way, and I wondered, and on a certain level, I wondered why, and why my siblings, even though their lives were harder than mine, they seemed to be able. They had this strength that I didn't possess, that they were just born with. And that, with anybody who has kids or has been around kids, we do understand that children as young as 2, 3, 4, they have their personalities on a very fundamental level. They have personalities, you know if you have kids, you know what I mean. Or if you've been around very young children, before they even really could speak, they have personalities. Some are more introverted, some are loud, some are, it's very basic, but it's there. I see it all the time. And as a child, I was born, unfortunately, with a very sensitive, introverted disposition. And the environment that I grew up in, if you wasn't strong, you end up like me. You end up things don't work out for you well if you're born a sensitive person or not a sensitive person. It's not just sensitivity. It was another something I lacked. It was more than sensitivity. I was weak, you know. But if you're born weak and easily influenced and don't know how to stand up for yourself, you don't have character naturally, unless you have support, then you're throughout your life someone to guide you along the way. You're gonna make a lot of mistakes and fall victim to a lot of things because you don't have strength to stand up for yourself. We all know there's people who are born headstrong, people who are born with a certain confidence. Even if they don't have confidence, they're born with strength. Have been born with an inner strength that you don't know you have. But it's people like me who didn't have their strength, that looked up to people like you without you even knowing, that had the ability to do simple things like say no or something like that. Anyway, yeah, I know this is true because I've always felt this way. I always knew that I was different. Both my first name and my last name and my middle name are extremely sensitive vibrations and reclusive and, you know, energy like that. All three of my names. And it's just not me. I've studied people with my name with energies of this low vibration, and I know they have this vibration because if you know vocabulary and philosophy, you can easily find this stuff out. There's a name. You can go to their website and you could type in a person's name or your name and see what the numerology of it is and see the vibrations and see what energy, things like that. It may sound ridiculous, but you know what I'm saying. Um, it has a solid basis and a basis founded in science. Yeah, vibrations. So yeah, I see this in myself. I see this in the people around me. I study people and their names and try to understand how this, things like that. I try to understand it, and I definitely see it as true and stuff like that. So yeah, I've learned a lot of things in my life. This was by far the most important information. This might be the information I feel like I was born to share with people. How be careful when you're naming your child, and try to name your child after people. If you're gonna name it after someone who's great, who accomplished things, who you look up to in your life. Name your child after someone who you look up to, or strong people who achieved in life, so they can you know have some of that energy be funneled through them into you know because names are very important. Have some of that energy be transferred to them and help them in a certain way. Some people will get this, other people won't. I won't even try to convince people who don't really fully get it, but or don't see it as true. But I know it is reality to me. So yeah, do that. Um, your name is important. All my life, I always wondered why I was this way. As far back as I can remember, I wondered why, and I think I found why. I found out why. It cost me a lot. But I finally figured it out. The very root of it was, you know, the name I was given at birth. Uh, I can't fault my parents because they didn't know, and a lot of people don't know. The people who do know about this, they probably won't think it's true anyway. But for the people who do know now, you should who do understand and do uh realize the validity of what I'm saying. I think this will help you. And just go to the website, go type in first name analysis, go to first name analysis. It'll take you to a website. It should say Caballerian somewhere. You'll see. Type in your name, see the vibrations, see the numbers associated with your name, read the description, and tell me what you think. Yeah, and it's just not me. Everybody in my family with the particular name I had, um, Wilkes with the particular name that I had, we all possess this certain energy. I don't know what I can see it. It's passive. It's a passive energy. Very reclusive energy. It's not a strong. It's a compassionate energy. It's very compassionate, but it's not. It's not strong-willed and strong. You know, strong in that sense. And everything's a balance. What you don't have in one area, you have in another area. What we don't have in being strong-willed and a strong character make up for it in compassion. But this world doesn't reward compassion. This world, the strong survive. So, yeah. Unfortunately, if I was born with a stronger name on a vibration that was more masculine to me, I would have been great because I know who I am. But you know, you can't turn back the hands of time. You can't go backwards. So that's why I'm sharing this with you. Yeah, knowledge is power. Never stop learning. Yeah, I'm out of here.